Okay, it's time to learn our song of the week, and it's such a beautiful song to be able to play. I'm really excited about this one. It's Amazing Grace, and this is going to really help us with some of those fingering techniques as well. Let's take a look. So here's the sheet music for Amazing Grace, and the most important thing for you to notice about this piece of music is that we have some eighth notes in here. If you take a look in the third bar, we can see them crop up there at the end of the bar. Now, we haven't actually spoken much about eighth notes yet. Eighth notes are also called quavers. I did mention them briefly in lesson 5 and said you could play them for happy birthday, but we are going to be looking much more closely at eighth notes in lesson 10. But I do want you to play them in this song, so I'm going to quickly explain what you need to do. Let's take a closer look at this bar. So there are the eighth notes, and you can tell they're eighth notes because they are joined together by this bar at the bottom. So when you see this, 2 quarter notes joined together by a bar, that means they are eighth notes. And what that means is that 2 eighth notes together that are barred together like this have the same value as 1 quarter note. So 2 eighth notes equals 1 quarter note. So if we go back to that bar of music, and we know that we have 3 beats in a bar, and these are quarter note beats. So those first 2 beats are obviously taken up by the half note, which is worth 2 beats. But that third beat has 2 eighth notes in it. So this bar would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. So if I bring up 2 bars of music, one with quarter notes and one with 8 notes, it would look like this. And if I play both of these, the first bar would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. And the second bar would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. So you should be able to incorporate these eighth notes into this piece of music. So we'll give it a go and see how we get on. So there's 5 lines of music. Here are the first 3 lines. Let's take a quick look at the piece and work out what we're looking at. So time signature first. We've got 3 beats in each bar, and those beats are quarter note beats, which is what the 4 tells us at the bottom. Remember, quarter notes can also be known as crotchets. Next thing to notice is we have the chords of this piece written out, just like in the lead sheets I showed you when you have the melody and the chords. So if you wish, you can just play the chords using your big small technique. But I've also written out a bass line in the left hand. So let's take a closer look at that left hand bass line. So the very first bar, we have the C, so this is our C major chord. Using the big small technique, you should work that out, and it should sound like this. So the notes of a C major chord are C, E and G. And if you take a look at those left hand notes, and if you were to pause the video and work out what they are, hopefully you would see that they are a C, an E and a G. So they're the same notes as the chord. The only difference is instead of playing them all at the same time, is we're playing them one after the other. And this is called a broken chord, and it's very common in popular music. So you'd start on the C, then move to the E, and then move to the G. And this is repeated, of course, in the music until the chord is changed. So it would sound like this. And in the music, when the chord changes to an F or a G, you do exactly the same thing. So you could play the F major chord like this, or you could play the broken chord as per the music, which would sound like this. So the only other thing you need to be aware of when you're playing this left-hand bass line is I have told you whereabouts on the piano I want you to play it. When you're playing chords, you can choose which octave you want to play them in. It's totally up to you. But when you're following a bass line that's been written out, you need to play the notes that are there. Now this is actually a low C on your piano. If it was a middle C up here, it would be written here like this. If it was the next octave down, it would be written here like this. But but it's not, it's written down here. So this is 2 octaves below middle C, and this is where I want you to play this broken chord. Okay, the only other things to be aware of in this piece are the rests at the very beginning. We've got a half note rest here, and I've used a quarter note rest here. So the first bar in the right hand, you don't do anything. And there's another half note rest here in bar 2 as well. So you actually start the piece on beat 6 on this G. Now lines 4 and 5, pretty standard. There shouldn't be anything here that throws you off course. The last 2 bars of line 5, the song's already finished, so correctly I've put in whole note rests just to finish off the line. So we're going to go through this piece, right hand first and then the left hand. So if we take a look at the right hand, I want you to pause the video and work out what these notes are. I'll add this as a PDF so you can print it out and then you can write on it what the notes are as you've worked them out, because it's really important you start doing this and getting good at it. When you come back, I will add in the note names so you can see if you got them right. Okay, so hopefully you had a practice and you worked out all the note names. So if I add them in, so take a look at that and see how you did. And then I'm going to play it all the way through to a metronome. Okay, so I'll count us in, and then remember we don't start the melody until beat 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so keep rewinding the video and keep going through that right hand until you've got it really strong, and then we can give the left hand a go. So if we take a look at the left hand, you can just play the chords, but I really want you to try out the broken chords and get a feel for it here. Remember, that first bar is a C. The rest of that line, there isn't any more chords written above. So all you do is just keep playing that C until it changes to something else. So until you're told otherwise, just play the chord you're on. So I'm going to count us in and we're going to go through this left hand bass line. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great, and keep rewinding the video and giving it a go. Keep practicing that left hand, and when you're ready, try both hands together. So that's what I'm going to do next. 1, 2, 3. enjoy practicing Amazing Grace this week. It's a great song, it's beautiful, it's got that lovely left hand pattern. Try and get that playing really smoothly as possible. Play about with your dynamics a bit if you wish, and keep an eye on your fingering. I have added the scales practice and your exercises into your practice plan this week, so do keep on top of that. In the next lesson, we're going to be learning the left hand of our D major scale. We're going to start to look at articulation in music. We'll be looking at ties and slurs and how to play smoothly, and legato, and detached, which is staccato. And we'll be learning a new song. It's a very exciting one. It's Feuerlies by Beethoven. Now, this is a grade 3/4 song, but I've simplified it for you to give it a go. And everybody knows Feuerlies on the piano, so it's a fab one to be able to play.